Here we are at Watchalunga Nature Reserve, which, as you can see out over here, consists of a network of channels and swamplands and some open country that was formerly grazed that we'll now be managing for conservation gains. There's a real diversity of habitats here, and it's part of the value of this site is the fact that it will be accessible for a whole range of species. This one's very different to the other properties that we've purchased because it's swampland, and also quite different because it is quite close to Adelaide. We're only an hour from the CBD here, and yet we're in this beautiful environment that's just so different to what people will live with in their normal day-to-day lives. And we're really looking forward to managing this property for conservation gains for the people of Adelaide and the people of South Australia.
To see this wonderful turnout, so many representatives from so many different community organisations, it just makes me incredibly proud to know there are so many people in our state who care so much about our natural environment. So thank you for being here today. I'd like to first of all acknowledge the fantastic work that this foundation has been carrying out for the last several decades. A very productive partnership where we've worked together to secure crucial parcels of land to either add to parks or to be managed privately. And it's a fantastic model, I think, for how we will look after our lands into the future, involving communities, involving private organisations and individuals in land care, in land holding and managing biodiversity for the future.
And what we have before us today is an indication of where the allocation of water to the environment has been used so successfully, frequently by the Nature Foundation of South Australia. The impact of the environmental water has been so much more effective because of the fact that the Nature Foundation has been prepared to supervise it under the watchful eye frequently of a local NRM committee. So I join everyone else today in saying thank you to you, the members and supporters of the Nature Foundation. Thanks to you we are in fact getting an opportunity to ensure that future generations do enjoy the wonderful asset we have by its very careful and astute use.
There are 19 groups of people here that are working for the conservation of our environment. I think that certainly tells a story, which means that the interest that's going to flow on from the work that we do down here is going to be continued, and we will have created an opportunity for these groups to come and do their research work here.
So once again, I declare this wonderful piece of land officially added to our biodiversity parcels for the future, and I declare today open.
Nature Foundation SA has bought this property because there is very little good quality Fleurieu swamps left, and part of our aim is to try and ensure that there's enough of each of the different types of bioregions in South Australia preserved for conservation, and this is a critical part of that process. It's also the home for some endangered species, including an emu-wren, and the southern bellfrog's been recorded here. There's also quite a number of recordings of rare fish here over time. Whether they're actually here at the moment, it's a bit unclear, but it's certainly a very, very important site in regards to a number of endangered and rare species.
13 species of native fish have been recorded at this site, and that is one of, if not first, highest level of diversity in the Mount Lofty ranges of native fish species. So from that perspective, it's really important too. 45 bird species are currently recorded on the list of having either been in sort of itinerant visitors or for permanent residents.
Most of the swamps are typically about 5 or 6 hectares and on private property. So it's unique to have them available for the public to see.
Emu-wrens are a small songbird, about 8 to 10 centimetres long. Here at Watchalunga we have a very visible population. We're not going to see one, don't get too excited, but all that lignum that's behind us over here, that's where you can almost regularly see emu-wrens on this property. And of all the properties that I've visited, this is probably the one where I've had the most success with finding emu-wrens.
One of the first things we'll need to do is a more thorough survey of both the flora and fauna here, and we'll start to take some base level information here so that we can say in 10 years time in terms of what's happened here as a result of our management changes.
It's just amazing to see it today and to see and understand what the future holds for this site. Words can't say what a lovely thing it is and what's been done for generations to come.